Welcome to Board Game Homies. We're a group of friends, play, review, and share about all things board games. Sitting around the table today are...
Reed.
Becky.
Gillean.
And I'm Angela. Today we're talking about Wondrous Creatures, aka I wonder if I'll wander while wishing for wonderful cards.
Say that 5 times fast, Angela.
And backwards.
Absolutely not. First, guys, what games are bringing you wonderful joy?
The game that is bringing me joy is ED, Eternal Decks.
Oh my god, I was like, what is ED?
I was going for that reaction. Thank you very
gosh
much.
Golly.
Eternal Decks is a fantastic game that I've been very much eyeing since its release in early 2025. Angela managed to get it in the kind of pre-order phase / early release phase that Portland Game Collective had, where they had some copies available to purchase, and then it went out of stock. It was very much sought after for pretty much the whole of 2025 until the second printing came around in kind of September, October timeframe. I didn't buy it myself because I wasn't sure if I would like it, and Angela bought it in, say, February 2025, and we just recently played it. So it was almost a full year before we played it, but I really liked it. It's very much a puzzly game, a cooperative puzzly game, and that description, very basic description there, is why I wasn't sure we would love it, but all four of us really liked it. So I am looking forward to buying it myself. I pre-ordered it from Portland Game Collective, and they are releasing in summer 2026.
Eternal Decks is my joy game too.
You have ED too?
Whoa. What they do as a couple stays as a couple.
Whoa. Well,
Wow,
I mean,
harsh noggin.
the thing that I am excited about is playing it 2 players. So, sorry guys.
I was also surprised because this we don't play a lot of cooperative games, but towards the end of the year we played 3 cooperative games in 2 weeks, and Eternal Decks was one of them. So you don't play it competitively, obviously, and getting to work together to solve this puzzle was really fun in a way that I didn't think it would be. I also thought it would have a little more of a trick-taking aspect because Hirokin, the designer, did Trick Takers, and he did a game called Trick Takers and King's Trick Takers, which Gillean owns. So it's not that, though. It's like a puzzle game that you solve with your friends, taking cards, communicating. I really love it. I'm happy that this is your joy, and I'm excited to see what maybe is different or slightly altered in the Portland Game Collective edition. Probably just a better rule book.
Oh, I hope so.
Did
hard
you
to
even
find
read
things.
the rule book?
Yeah, I did look at it. Rude.
Oh, okay.
I feel like this was a surprise that it was both of your joy games. This is kind of like playing a cooperative trick taker where you're like, don't say the obvious one. Don't hand me the obvious cards. No, I'm like, oh, wait, what do I play? What's my joy game now?
Wait, was yours Eternal Decks too?
No, but I thought that yours was not going to be
Well,
Eternal.
we can't all say Bottle Lamp.
Well, Becky, spoilers.
Wow, what if Reed doesn't pick Bottle Imp?
That would be-
Spoiler, I wasn't going to pick Bottle Imp, but I wanted to.
Whoa.
And now we'll
more
never know
spoilers.
how we feel about Bottle Imp.
Angela's Angela's.
Yeah, right.
But I will say, Eternal Decks, we haven't played a ton of. We only played 2 of the scenarios that are available, kind of the 2 starter ones. But it was just such a fun puzzle to gauge how to make sure that we don't just die in this realm of trying to discover the Eternals, and making sure people had decks that they gather and are able to get so that they don't run out of cards to play. And we didn't really have any issues completing those first 2, but as we go along and we play more scenarios, I'm sure it'll get a lot more difficult than it has been, and I'm excited to explore that.
Also, there are 3 or 4 levels of difficulty. So we are on baby level. We're on normal mode. But I appreciate that level of, you can kind of see somebody's eyes start to panic when they're running out of cards. Because if you run out of cards, if you can't play something, the game is over for everybody. Everyone dies. So you're invested in people getting another deck of cards by finding these Eternals. And I always had a pretty good supply of cards, but when I started to get even a little low, I was like, when's my next deck coming? What are you guys doing to help me? And Becky's like, I only have 3 cards. So I thought that was fun.
Well, it was interesting because both Angela and I were the selfish people of the group, and I felt like we
yeah.
always had like an ample supply of cards to play, and Reed and Becky were just like, oh, I need help.
All of us were nodding our heads.
We sounded just like that, little helpless people lost in a campground or land, wherever you were.
I definitely did sound like that.
Festival.
Yeah. It's also, I think when we dive into and do a bigger review of this game and look at some of the cooperative games we've been playing, it could tend and have itself to be quarterbacking of like telling people what to do and where to place their cards, or like do this. But so far in the 3 competitive games we played of all of last year, it doesn't feel like we had a ton of quarterbacking happen in those games. So hopefully that's a trend that continues. Gillian's looking at me like maybe he's like, no, I was telling you where to put those cards.
No, I was just going to say that Eternal Decks, the couple of plays that we had, I felt like it wasn't so much quarterbacking as it was group think tanking, where we are all collectively contributing to like, what if I do this? What if I do this? What if I do this? And then we kind of come out with a solution that resolves the issue or issues at hand.
Well, there is a little bit of limited communication that
Yeah.
some of us didn't always follow.
Read.
Okay, yeah, I did do the
Yeah,
side,
you just
I did
looked at Reed, so I said
yeah,
Reed.
Yeah, totally. It is an audio
I know there
medium.
was one time where you all were like, you're not supposed to tell us that. And I was like, well, what?
It's like the crew. You can't just be... In fact, I think we're playing the crew on BGA, and Reed's like, blah, 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 blah. And we're like, you can't, Reed, that's the point. You can't say that.
It's secret.
Reed says, I have these cards and these suits.
Well,
Yeah, somebody play this so I can win.
that's why I love Molly House. Only we were playing it harder, where you're like you're allowed to say things in Molly House, but you can also be lying. But I like being like, well, I have a fancy high guest I'm bringing to the party.
Yeah, I actually am really disappointed playing that game and people being like, I have a 7 and a 6. Like, what do you have? And I'm like, "Ugh, that's not how you play this
I know,
game."
why isn't that just not open-handed?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're like, that's not how you play Molly House. You need to be like sus about it. Like the gays were just being sus.
Exactly.
My joy game is not a game. I'm doing what you all do sometimes.
Okay.
We boo now, Reed.
My joy game is that after a couple of years of not having my own space, I have board game shelves that are installed in my house, and I'm so excited to fill those shelves with all of the games that I've been hoarding and collecting underneath of my bed and in my dresser and all the other places, and being able to put them out and play board games in my own house.
Awesome. And I'll pause there and say, in reference to our previous episode, I want to add this point since it's 2026. We each go around and say, are the number of games that Reed has more or less than what would fill the shelves that she currently has?
Oh, that's a good question.
Wait, but can you describe your shelves to us a little bit? How many are there?
We might have broken her brain.
There are 2 shelves. 2 shelves that basically go floor to ceiling, but
Right.
they're like bookshelves, so they're not very deep.
Actually, I just put one shelf for my board game, and the other was going to be for other things. I did invest a lot in my loom room because I'm a weaver, and I really invested a lot of yarn space. So
Okay.
I'm hoping that doesn't.
We're all
bleed
over at this point.
I
So
know.
it's, yeah,
No,
where you have
no.
more games than can fit on your one shelf.
I know it is one shelf. Anyway, that was wandering. Sorry, future.
Sorry to
President
make you
Angela.
depressed, Reed.
Yeah. I
About the lack of shelves.
Yeah.
also, her loom comes back. We're not going to be playing games anymore.
She's just going to be looming,
Yeah, she could be looming and not in a way where she's outside being like, let me in.
like Dracula,
Like lurking outside your houses,
like Becky
trying
does.
to find barrage.
Okay, I'm going to bring this back. Reed, I think that is such a beautiful, sweet thing, and I'm very excited for your board game shelves, even though these 2 are.
Shelf. I think we just.
Okay.
Yeah, Becky's shelf.
Sorry, your board game shelf.
Also, I love that you're being excited about the shelf when you don't have bathrooms yet. And
I have
so-
bathrooms. The toilets are in the garage, just not in my house.
You poop in the garage?
Angela,
All the toilets are in the row in the garage that don't have any plumbing attached to them.
it's
So you're just-
cooperative.
So you're just dropping a deuce on the floor, theoretically or technically.
It's 2026.
4 deuces, Reed. 4 deuces.
We've gone so far off the rails. It's a delight.
None of this is going in the podcast.
It's absolutely going in. I edit.
No, Rita
I
has
make
the power
decisions.
now to edit after you. She can cut out extra things.
That's only to edit Gillian's bad words.
What, deuces?
No, from the last podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, she said the other word.
All right. Angela?
Poop is not a bad word. Here's the thing, guys. You need a bathroom to poop in, and you need a shelf, a single shelf for your 4 board games and a board game table or 7. So I hope more of these joys are just updates so that everybody who's listening can know when your toilets go in and if your games fit on your shelf.
That's true.
Well, one thing that Reed did make sure she bought was Takedo, so that when you poop, we set up Takedo, and then you come out and we play.
Except for the pooping, that is what happened, and I do hate Takedo. I will put it in the garage line of toilets. If you have stuck with us more than the 3 minutes of poop talk, the game that is bringing me joy other than this conversation is not Bottle Imp, so I guess we'll never talk about that game. It's Irish Gauge.
Wow.
I really like Irish Gauge. I didn't know that was a surprise, but
Yeah,
No,
tell us more,
it was
Gillian.
mainly a wow at the fact that none of us
I
chose
know.
Bottle Imp because
Exactly.
all of us
This
have
is like
loved
just
Bottle
one.
Imp.
You'd never guess the word.
the word is not Bottle Imp. If everybody else liked it, they should have chosen it. Becky did a duplicate. She should have not done a copy.
It's like
No.
if Reed chose the word shelf and all of us were like, oh, we're not going to choose the obvious word of lacking.
Oh my god.
Valid.
That was funny. No, I have a shelf. I'm not lacking a shelf.
Just one, though. Just one.
Oh, yeah,
No,
there you go.
okay. It's a shelving unit, so there are multiple shelves.
Let's get back to Irish Gauge.
Anyways, that was going to be my other choice for my joy game.
Bottle if is no word if he's
Well, I was like, well,
It-
if everybody else picks
It
bottle
was my
Imp-
number 2, like a deuce.
Oh my god.
It's in Reed's garage.
Wait, no. I think we do have to start this podcast over.
The potty talk stays. We have lost half the audience. They've unsubscribed. Thank you if you have stayed. So Irish Gauge is a really cool game where you are bidding for trains stock. So it's a train game, but it's also a economic variable market in a way that you're bidding for stock. And as you gather more stock, you then try and kind of have a monopoly, but also not really, because if Reed gets some of the red train stock and I have red train stock, now every time we get a payout on red train, we have to split it. And that's terrible. So then you're trying to bid to gain more of the red stock so you don't have to share, but also money is points at the end of the game. So Reed, Becky, and I played this just the other day, and it had been at the end of 2025 when we played it, and I had such good vibes, but I didn't have enough plays. And this one, I really hope that my love of it at the beginning of the year carries through the rest, because it's quick, it's an easy setup, the rules fit on one sheet, it's on BGA, although it's a little annoying to play asynchronously, but it's a delight.
I was very, I guess I took the initiative and I purchased our very first train game, or 18XX Lite in this case. I wasn't sure we were going to collectively like an 18XX game, and Irish Gauge is kind of the lighter end of that, where it's very quick to play. It's very quick to learn. As Angela said, there's only a single sheet of paper, front and back, that has the rules on it. And the first play we had was at the end of 2025, and I really enjoyed it. I wasn't part of the second play, but I really liked the game, and I was happy that we enjoyed it.
I'm still bitter that you didn't include it for your top new to you games in 2025, even though you included Speakeasy. So I'm really glad you're talking about it now, but I'm still grumpy about it.
We did play Speakeasy twice.
Okay, but there was something else you played once you put on there too.
It was the magic shop and the trick takers
Yeah,
one. Yeah.
Boo.
Well, it's not boo, it's choo choo.
No, boo.
This is another game where I think I'm really, really good at it in my head, and in reality, I lost by 100 points for each of you.
You have to
From each of
be
you.
exaggerating.
Gillian,
about
you
how
weren't-
good I think I am in my
No,
head.
no, how badly you... Oh, I guess yes.
No, I literally lost by like 100 points.
She wasn't very good
But I
At
thought
the
I was.
choo-choo.
at the
At
choo-choo.
or the...
Let me tell you, Reed, it did not choose you to win, did it?
I don't think I choo-choo
Yeah,
We
it
boo
might
on this
also
podcast
boo.
now. Boo.
Wow, which one's worse, the puns or the poop?
Both. Both are worse.
Wondrous Creatures, published in 2024, plays 1 to 4 players. It's designed by Yom CW, the art is by Sophia Kang, and it's published by Bad Comet. Reed, how do we play Wondrous Creatures?
Well, Wondrous Creatures brings you into a world of fantastic creatures, and you must win by creating the most harmonious reserves. You collect various creature cards and eggs in your reserve, and each creature card has a unique ability. It's important to bring them together to build a machine, an engine, and it's also important to create a reserve that helps to complete the achievements faster than other players. There's worker placement, where you gain resources on a hex puzzle central board, and your own workers have unique abilities. There's a little bit of asymmetry there that doesn't drive the gameplay too much, but often gives you different access to some sort of resources as you take your turns. And special effects kind of unfold on the map over time. Get creative and use these special effects to unleash your own powerful combos, says the designer. And you will collect and combine over 100 different creature card with their own abilities and build a strategic tableau in front of you, which is your reserve. It is a race to the objectives and to get the most points.
Yeah, when we saw this game, I didn't think it was going to be a big deck game. It's like a big deck game with a tableau that activates in the vein of like Everdell or something like that. And what I really was like, oh my gosh, as we were doing the walkthrough and the gameplay, or just like the rules when we were about to play, was there are so many tracks and objectives are Reed's favorite thing. And I was like, this is a game with objectives.
It was a race to get those objectives.
Which, of course, means one of our games you did not achieve objectives.
No, I did very well in this game.
Well, the first game, not so much.
That I didn't get the objectives?
Not really. I don't think you had many.
The
did
second
you?
game you
Then
only
how
got
did
3.
I win?
You do
Oh,
things.
did you win the game?
I
don't know.
She does things around the edges.
Just so you know, Angela and I have decided we have dementia, so
Collective.
collective dementia.
I win
Collective amnesia.
every game anyway, guys. In my own head, like in Reed's game app, I win all of them.
No, in my imaginary game app, I win all of them, Angela.
Oh my gosh. Well, this is a game that I thought when we heard about the mechanics as we were about to play seemed right up Reed's track. But what drew me to the game originally when it came out in 2024, it was kind of, I think it was a late release, so it made some lists at the end, but was the tokens in the game that were the most interesting because you have these 3 creatures. So I had the Stegosaurus scorpion, which are exactly what you think they would look like. And then one of those has a magnet on it. And so the funnest thing is to take whoever is your captain and you just keep putting them on. And so I was like playing with the magnets and going snap, 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 snap. It's like Reed on BGA, just click, 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 click.
It was the
very fun.
most satisfying, like, magnetic click.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, the components, 10 out of 10. The game is very beautiful. Gillian, did you have a fancy version? Because some of those things seemed very fancy.
Yeah, so I managed to get the game secondhand that had the crew set and also the Gargantuan Creatures expansion. And so both of those added some additional components to the game, largely in the form of cards or additional crew that you can use. So yeah, I had a slightly upgraded version of the base game. But the base game itself is also very, very good.
Are the trophies actually metal, do you think, in the base game?
In the base game, they're not. Yeah, that came in as an upgrade, I think.
Those were very nice as I was collecting them all.
Okay. Clank, clank, clank.
Maybe it's because I didn't get enough trophies in the games that we played, but I actually felt like these I was going to say wooden, but they're metal gold trophies. Like, I felt like it didn't really fit the theme of the game, which usually I'm all for a chunky gold metal piece, but there was something about them that made it feel, I can't think of the word that I want right now, but I don't know. It felt out of place.
Like maybe they should have been like crowns for the
Crystals.
most. Or,
Is that what I thought you were going to go to crystals?
but yeah, no, I get that. Some sort of thing that helps it thematically fit, because I don't really think of these wondrous creatures doing a bunch of Olympics to get trophies.
Yeah.
Well, you are building like your reserve. I guess that's actually true. Like in Ark Nova, you don't get a trophy. They're just like, great job on capitalism.
Also, conservation.
Yeah, research is there.
Yeah, but you're also, building
I mean,
habitats
yeah,
and
zoo,
things,
boo.
which is definitely not this game. But the art on the cards is probably one of my favorite things. It did give me Everdell vibes in terms of cute creatures. It's not kind of the same style, but I really loved the pictures. We were always oohing and eyeing and showing each other like, oh, look how cute this one is, or how cute this one is. They've taken that like cute card play that we've seen in the last few years up a notch.
I'm very conflicted about the art because there are some creatures that I am like shoving into everybody's face. Like, look at how cute this thing is. I can't handle it. Because some of them are so cute. But then there are some things that are like almost like it's like cute mixed with Terraforming Mars bad art. Wow. No.
Wow.
You guys like there was a mushroom thing that looked really weird. Like it looks like bad CG sometimes. Most of the things that are cute are like super cute, but some of it I was like, wait, you are not as cute as anything else.
On a scale of 1 to 5 cuteness, where do the cards, the good and the bad, what does this average out for you?
I don't know, because the ones that are really off to me, they just kind of pull me out of how cute everybody else is.
So you're rocking a 2?
Maybe a 3.
Wow.
I'm gonna
Wow,
say 3.
Becky, you made us look at a lot of cards.
You did make us look
Yeah.
at a lot of
You
Did.
there were
Like
a lot
every
of-
turn you took.
There were a lot of cards I did not make you look at.
Okay, so that's like maybe 30%.
I'm gonna say
40%.
3.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, but with that, I also felt like the art on the board didn't really match the cards that were amazing. Like it felt a little more elementary on the board. Does that mean?
No, I think it's
Wrong?
true because there were hexes. It's a hex-based system, so when you place your creature, you're placing it on these series of hexes. I wish it was a little more creative on the board. I think there's something they could have done. It's not a hex game like I expect it in Irish Gauge. They're a bunch of hexes. This game, I want them to be fancy.
Especially with how inviting and exciting the box is. Like the box is this beautiful book, very ornate, and that's what I wanted from the board as well. And some of the pieces, more ornateness and like whimsical.
I did appreciate the dual layer boards. Again, I will die on this hill that you should have that as standard. So your captain, the cards are interchangeable, so you can be different captains. And that sits into a nice slot, although it raises up just a little bit. And then there are little player token areas like in Revive where you just like move your resources up and down.
I don't think everyone agrees with me about my hot take about the artwork, though.
It was fine.
Oh, okay.
Wow. When the hot take homie says it's fine.
It was fine.
Okay, maybe I'm not
okay.
wrong.
I think that the box is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Like one that you would love to see on your shelf or multiple shelves. And I think that the hold it together, Becky. I think that the creatures themselves are A+. I think cards, especially when you have such a big deck, it's hard to get that many that are solid wins. And there wasn't a lot of contrast. I couldn't see half the creatures that were on mine. So I don't know. I think I'm fine with the art. I also loved the play of the board, not necessarily the art of the board, but bringing up the revive system for the board as well. I love how you got to place your creature to span 2 different hexes, and then you drew the resources next to it, like revive, which again, Angela thinks is just fine, but is one of my top favorite games. So there was a little bit of Revive appreciation in this game for me too.
Yeah, we don't usually score stuff, but I would say those creature tokens are a big selling point for that game because they are so tactile, and I love putting the little people on. So 4 out of 5, Becky.
Wow.
Hot take.
That is a hot
Like
take.
the game itself?
No.
Okay.
No. Just the
Just
well,
the-
mostly the tokens.
Those tokens are 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
The box is 5 out of 5, and everything else kind of brings it down.
Dan just said
I
it was 4
agree.
out of 5. I don't know what you're talking about, Reed.
She said 4 to 5 out of 5, I thought.
It's 45 out of 5. Correct.
Those tokens,
Future
yes.
Angela is going to have a ball with this one.
It's all staying in, baby.
Well, speaking of 45 out of 5, which is way too many numbers, this game is so long.
I agree. I don't want to jump out the gate with a negative in any sort of way because I do want to get to my feelings on maybe big deck games. But this gameplay was really long, and it didn't feel like I was waiting per se for my turn and just being like, God, hurry up. I know what I'm doing. I always felt kind of busy and thinking about what my next move would be and what cards were coming up as other folks took them or other places on the board. And I was always looking at how many lizard tags does Gillean have? Because I need to know if I'm going to wait. And Reed just picked up 4 eggs somehow magically, which I think literally happened. I was like, how'd you get all those eggs? And so they're all butterflies. So I need to be watching out because maybe she's going to accomplish that first. But when the game was done, I just felt, I don't know, a little hollow. I don't know if that's the right thing to say about it, but it just didn't feel like I had used the time in a way that made my brain feel good.
I would kind of echo that statement. I feel like it was true for me as well, in that the one of the main actions that you can take is placing a crew member out on the board, and I felt like that was underwhelming to an extent of just you place it and you get the resources or cards from the kind of main tableau of cards that match that habitat. So for instance, if I placed a crew member next to 3 corals, I can either gain 3 coral resources and or cards in a combination of 3. And so that was, I thought it would be more fun than it ended up being. And I walked away from the game just kind of thinking like that was fine. You know, it felt like there was never an easy way to maximize your efficiency, which I always appreciate in a game, is like learning how to be more efficient in what you're doing. And I think I think this kind of speaks more to big deck games in general, in that it's hard to do that with a game that has as much randomness in the cards as this one does.
Maybe I should have gone first. I liked this game. I know that we'll get to our impressions, but with the game, I think that it was really driven by tags, which we've talked about before, that I love tags. And in this game, the tags really drove a lot of what you did. They helped you to purchase different cards. They helped you to collect sets to be able to get points, and then also for the end objectives. And so I really loved how tags were central to the game. And I thought that instead of engine building necessarily, which I think that Gillean and Angela did a little bit of engine building with the energy. I didn't go there. I don't think Becky went there either with the energy cards, but I just tried to get ones that would give me a lot of points. And so I used cards to collect points more than to build engines to be able to do things.
I would say to that point, I felt like the game didn't really have much engine building to it. Like the energy cards themselves were very agnostic of whatever else you had in your reserve. And so it didn't feel like you were building an engine per se. It was just you're getting a bunch of cards that did disparate things that didn't necessarily mesh together. That's generally my feeling.
Yeah, I don't find it to be an engine builder because my cards aren't synergizing. Yeah, sometimes a card will let me get a resource or do a thing or get me slightly closer to the race aspect of doing a thing, but I don't usually build them. I found it very hard to be combo-y. Like there was a card that would be an ongoing ability that let me discard and I would get a point. And that helped, I thought, Gillean in the first game a lot. Every time he did a certain action, he would get 2 victory points, or every time he would do this, he would get a point. And that was really great, but I think it also ties back to my feelings about a big deck game. When done well, I think you can see lots of cards in the deck and get what you want, but I sometimes was frustrated by cards I never saw. In our first play of this, I never had an ongoing ability. And I was like, wow, I just never saw that color card come up because everyone took it. Even though we shuffled the deck in the second game, so literally cycled through all of the cards, I just felt a little stuck getting through the deck.
I'm glad that you ended kind of at that point, because as you were starting to talk about this, that's what I was thinking about too, is kind of a curse of a big deck game that can happen. And it's just like when the achievements are also based on certain cards that you get, it's just hard when there's nothing left for you, even if, and you can't always pivot to the other thing, or you are trying to do a little bit of everything, but there's just nothing there.
One aspect of the cards that I thought was maybe a surprising delight for me is that the cards and the eggs played together to augment your tags for achievements and points if you had cards that would do that. And I thought that that was really fun, how you could flip your eggs back and forth to be able to use them for their tag. And I thought that I just enjoyed that aspect of it. I thought the game had a really like nice tactile component. And thinking about the big deck, I like a big deck game. I like games where you know what's coming. And one of the things that I liked about this game, when I say like you know what's coming, mean like you have an understanding of the game so that you know that there's hope that you might get this type of card. And one of the things that I feel like I liked about this is that the cards didn't repeat. And I think in Everdell, I get really frustrated that you see the same cards over and over again. And I don't think that that feels as interesting of a big deck to me.
I did really like the eggs and how they used those, because you had to decide how you were going to use them to complete the achievements. If you were using your monkey eggs to count towards how many monkey tags you had, then you would have to flip them. And then unless you find ways to flip them back over through cards or from using your net when you place one of your crew members, then you didn't use them anymore. And I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that's where I found probably the most amount of tension that wasn't me trying to dig through the deck and find something, was that balance of how am I going to use this butterfly egg? Should it go through this tag? And then there was often, depending on like what the objectives were, I found myself conflicted for one of the objectives being have 8 unflipped eggs. And I was like, but if I have 8 unflipped eggs, I can't complete these 5 other objectives. And Gillean had an objective that he completed, and I was like, we'll never get this one, which is 10 of the same tag. And that, I was like, gosh golly. And then you really are having this dance of, should I flip my eggs or not flip my eggs?
Some of that reminds me of Arc Nova, like in the achievement area with the conservation projects, because that was a strategy I think we all had in our first game, where it was like, pick one that you can do 3 of so you can get your captain's ability unlocked. But then I think maybe I'm the only one who forgot about that for the second game, that it's a good idea to get that unlocked sooner. But this game definitely had, it has, I feel like, a lot of good bones, like in terms of like mechanics that they have in there. It just, for me, didn't quite hit all together.
I would echo that, because Reed and I, at the end of our first play, had pointed out some things that reminded us of Revive, rather. And then kind of you talking about the similarities to Arc Nova, I definitely get that, where you're trying to accomplish one of the achievements very quickly just so you get a leg up and you get a bonus. So in Arc Nova, you get up and you get another worker, for instance, or something along those lines. In this case, you're unlocking your captain's ability, which will help you throughout the rest of the game generally. And so I definitely see similarities in some games that I do love, some things that I don't necessarily like in other games as well. But yeah, I just felt in this package, it didn't really jive with me as much as I thought it might.
I'm surprised that the three of you didn't feel as enthusiastic about this game that I did. I think that the one area that I didn't love is that there's not a lot of interaction other than the competition for the race to objectives, the spot, and the cards, which is pretty standard in any game that you're playing. You're trying to get something before someone else does. But it would have been nice had there been another element of tension, like the ability to take something from someone, or if one player's issue or objectives, not objectives, if one player's like benefits or actions ended up impacting you in another way, maybe there could have been another level. But you all are just kind of meh on this game.
Well, and I also had something that I don't, we haven't talked about, that take another big deck game like Aberdell that I didn't experience this in. Even in Arc Nova, I don't think I experienced this. In both of my plays, because I didn't see any of the cards that gave you ongoing abilities, like every time Gillean got an egg, he got a victory point. Gillean stormed up the points track pretty early on with that combo. Like he played it very early and was like steaming ahead. And notoriously, I didn't get to 5 points until the end of maybe the like second to last round, maybe even the last round. And I had been working on like end game objectives. And so I didn't have a terrible score, but I the whole game you're like, wow, I am very far back on the points tracker. And then in our second play of the game, Reed almost lapped us because she was so far ahead the entire time. And there's a little bit of demoralizingness when you look over at the score tracker, even though your game may be set up for endgame. And to be fair, Reed didn't end up winning that game, but the whole time I was still in this place of, wow, I'm very far in the points tracker. And so there's this like level of what can I do? Or somebody's grabbing the cards they want, like Gillean getting another card that gives him another point when he plays a card, or Reed then picking up a bunch of endgame cards. You're like, oh, I can just see myself getting demolished. And I don't know, it didn't feel terrible, but it didn't make me be like, I have hope that I might be competitive. And I think the answer is play better. But
I did not say that.
Well, sometimes, Becky, when you look at me, you're like, you should play better.
I'm often the one that's left behind and don't have endgame, so I still stay behind the whole time. And it is hard. It's hard to stay engaged. It's hard to think like, wow, what did I do wrong, when you're still playing the game, like, I think to the best that you can with what you're dealt. So I get that. And I felt that I was very far ahead.
Yeah, and it gets into a weird spot where you're like, well, I need to take... You didn't win the game, right? So if you had pulled...
By like 2 points.
Right, but if you had pulled your punches and been like, oh, I'm about to circle the 50-point marker while everyone's on 22... If you had pulled a punch, you may have lost by 7 or 8, or maybe there was something you should have done so that your friends don't get mad at you that you keep moving forward that would have won you the game.
That's too nice. And my strategy I took from Becky, which was, how do I trigger the end game?
Exactly. And to that point, like if you are at the 50-point marker, I think the 40-point marker as well, if you cross that, you remove one of the trophies, which is the end game trigger. And that there are some number of trophies on the board depending on the number of players, and as people achieve things, they will remove a trophy, or they'll gain one rather. But as people progress along the later part of the victory point track, you'll remove trophies as well. You won't necessarily gain them, you just discard them in some cases at the 50-point marker, for instance. And so there is a valid strategy there of just going gung-ho and rushing the end game and going up that victory point tracker very fast. And it is very much a valid strategy. It was just, to Angela's point, it felt a little demoralizing at the beginning. And all three of us, aside from Reed, obviously, because Reed was the one that was up the farthest on the track, it was all of us were in the sub-10s, and Reed was at like 40 points. And it just felt like there's no way we could catch up. But then the end game victory points, the achievements allowed us to catch up. And so there's just a weird dichotomy there in terms of like points you score as the game goes on versus points you score at the end game. And this just makes me think of one thing that I really like in one of my favorite games. That's not Clans Caledonia, but that is Concordia. Concordia has just an opaqueness to it that I generally don't like in a game, but it's you don't know how many points somebody has until the end game comes about. And it's a surprise, and it's a very like interesting surprise, and like, oh yeah, I watched you collect these cards that will end up enhancing your points at the end of the game. Whereas there's just this sense of demoralization as people focus on in-game points versus end-game points that I feel like definitely hit me in Wondrous Creatures.
I just want to clarify. Well, I have something to say too, but some of us caught up. Not all of us did. I did not in either game, but I definitely had some of those feelings. But I also appreciate, especially if maybe you're aware of that going in, like I do appreciate that there are different ways to score a lot of points. So you can score points super heavily during the play, like Reed was really great at in both games, or you can kind of build up for that end game scoring or do a little bit of everything. So I do like that you don't all have to do the same thing to win.
I think that actually, it's surprising how many comparisons I am having in my mind to Revive. Revive is another one of those games where, with the artifact cards and the multipliers that you get, you can have, 15 points on the board and end up getting 100 points or something. It is an opacity that is with the end game that I didn't think about, but it is very interesting. It's another one where it's like you can score all across the board.
I ended up purchasing this game because it was on a pretty heavy discount at our local game store on the used shelf. And I bought it thinking that our group might like it. 3 out of 4 of us like Everdell. So I thought this might be in the same vein. And I decided to give it a shot at that price. It was heavily discounted. And I don't regret that choice at all. Like, it was very much a game that got a lot of buzz when it came out, and so I was very much infatuated. And I did enjoy it overall, but I just don't think I enjoyed it as much as some other games that kind of make me think of them as different mechanisms come into play.
I do think this game is a great one to pick up if you really like Everdell, Wormspan, Arc Nova, also maybe Revive, except I really like Revive but did not like this game, but that's okay. But I think the original price for like kind of the Kickstarter stuff and the expansions is either 130 or 160. Like, that's a lot for I think what this game is giving. But if you can get it on sale or from your friend who's over it, like, I think that's the way to go if you're excited. But at the same time, there's so many people who really, really like this game. So
Yeah, I wouldn't turn down a play. We always try and think about who is this game for. I wouldn't turn down a play of the game. It is long, I think is the piece. We played at 4, so maybe not the ideal player count. And there are some other midweight games that I would rather slot into a almost 2 hour. What was it, Gillian?
Yeah, we averaged about 2 hours, the plays we had.
Yeah, there might be something else I want to slot into that. And it doesn't make like my top 3 favorite big deck games, and those tend to be on the heavier side. I still would prefer to play Arc Nova, but I still thought it was a cute, solid play. Like, I would play it again. I don't think I would own it. And I don't know that I would teach it to the other game group. Maybe. They do play Everdell. But the AP, because if you're always thinking and then you're playing with somebody who has a lot of AP and they want to read each card, that 2 hours could go to 3 hours, could go to 4 hours. And that's kind of my worry with another game group.
you did remind me about the player count. I was reading someone's review about it as a solo play, and they really, really liked it solo. It was quicker and also, I think, just a little more engaging in your kind of, you're trying to get the best score there. But I don't think I will play this game solo, but I am intrigued. And if you're a solo player and you like the topic. That's not the right word, but
Theme, Becky?
The theme. Oh, yes. If you like the theme, then maybe it's a great choice.
Well, maybe when I buy it from you and Gillean, I'll play it solo.
I mean, I did try
Heavily
to
discounted
offer it to
price. Heavily discounted price.
Should I Venmo you now? or
Yeah.
And we'll play it with you. It's just I don't want it to take up shelf space.
But what about
Because I don't want to have to buy another shelf.
I think that this is a game that, again, I have friends that I play with a lot who are excited about board games that are not going to play Lacerda, but I don't want to play Wingspan all the time, or I don't want to play another game that, Catan, that kind of thing. I mean, I will play Catan, but I think that this is a good step up for people. It feels light to us because we play heavier games, but I think it would be an exciting thing to play if you were newer to bigger board games.
Yeah. I think it's a solid game. I would maybe recommend getting one of the other Everdell games, not the first iteration of Everdell, but they've kind of redone it a few times because they've simplified it, streamlined some of the pieces. I think they've addressed some of the concerns you might have, Reed, because more cards have synergies with each other. You're not always digging through the deck. I would probably go there. But you miss, the worker placement isn't maybe as interesting, but maybe I like that worker placement better. So, again, it doesn't, I think I'm conflicted about this game. Maybe my answer is, it's fine.
I just want to add an asterisk to what Angela said because we have never played Far Shore, nor have we played
There's a ton of
the
them.
winter one. not the Spirecrest expansion, but there's another one that's all the winter setting. But we played Everdell and one of the expansions so far, and we do like that. And I think I would recommend that over Wondrous Creatures.
I do have the Belfair expansion that we haven't played yet, so maybe that will happen.
Silver Frost is what I was trying to think
Frost. Wow, your brain just popped that out.
Yeah, it was just delayed 30 seconds.
I'm really torn. If I had the choice between this and Everdell, I would probably choose this game.
Wow.
Reed. Got it for sale. Just saying.
I already said I'd do it, Gillean. I made that decision as we were sitting here talking about this game. I was like, everybody hates this. I don't have any.
No, I legitimately would play it. Like, I don't have any qualms with it that would prevent me from playing it. I have
It's a ringing endorsement.
Yeah, no.
I have no outstanding qualms, said Gillean.
Yeah, I know. But, like, that's more than I can say about a lot of games, honestly.
Whoa.
2026 is the year of Gillean being judgy.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I want to be the most judgmental out of all of us this coming year.
I know. I'm trying to be open to this wonderful game that you brought to us that has shiny, beautiful pieces.
Yeah, it is the new year.
Reed's just attracted by bling.
Also, we should have had a question for the New Year's. How many games would Gillean badger Reed into buying or picking up?
Oh, 100%.
Reed, may I interest you in Shot and Totten? Because I love that game, but Becky hates it.
I'm on the edge, Gillean, because I also love it, but it is a very stressful game.
I think I would choose playing Everdell and taking my dog for a 40-minute walk.
Wow. Did you hear that, Reed?
That
You
is
hate
saying-
this game,
Wow.
Becky.
No,
I was trying to be nice about it.
No, I just
Did you not get enough gold trophies?
maybe.
But is that it?
But
It,
I
like-
also it didn't go with the theme, so I wasn't excited about getting a trophy. If they were again,
It's
I think
basically the mayor giving you a trophy for your reserve.
Hey, if she doesn't get the Nobel Peace Prize, she don't want a game.
That's it.
This game is
That's the only reason Weather Machine jumped up to her top Lacerda game is
It
because she
wasn't
got the
my
Nobel
top.
Peace Prize.
I picked Lisboa over it. I said I could not explain why. Maybe it was the
because
coral
the
color.
coral.
So good. It just didn't hit for me.
And that's
You know
okay.
what? It was animals. We had hoped that
Creatures.
creatures were going to be okay. Creature Caravan, I guess, is the one pass. I don't know.
Maybe
Because it has a lot more people in it than creatures.
You know, in Creature Caravan, you are not making a reserve or a zoo. Maybe I don't like reserve or zoo games.
But Everdell, what are you making? A village, and you hate villages with creatures. So
Oh,
You
that was one point that I wanted to bring up. It's actually not my point. Angela said it, which is that in this game, there's no max number of cards that you have.
no, I said it. I was the
Yeah.
one that was like the one thing I don't like about Wondrous Creatures. I think relative to Everdell is that there's just no limit, and it gets a little overwhelming at times if you build out a ton of cards and your reserve is huge, and it just feels. I don't know. It just didn't satisfy me like it does in Everdell, where you have to be very thoughtful in what you play.
It's kind of like terraforming Mars.
Yeah.
Ares Expedition.
No, both.
Oh, yeah,
90% of those cards are trash. You just need the tags. And then there's like 3 ongoing things.
But in reference to Ares Expedition versus this Ares Expedition, it felt like you were more like a single card that you played wasn't as impactful as a single card you played in Wondrous Creatures in a way. Like it felt like getting the resources you need to play a card in Wondrous Creatures took more effort. And so they didn't synergize well in Wondrous Creatures, nor did they synergize well in Ares Expedition necessarily. But in the latter, it was easier to play those cards.
I know. Sometimes I think that I would just rather, like in Arc Nova and in Terraforming Mars and Ares Expedition, I'd rather have money than 4 different types of resources, because now I'd rather just spend a turn being like, cool, I got $10. Let me divide that up. And here it's like, okay, I have to go to a spot that gives me 2 of these and 1 of these, or I have to use a thing to get a thing. And my biggest pet peeve with this game, which actually now for me, thinking about it, will move it to mid for me, is there is no resource conversion. So I have 5 or 6 of the water element, and there's nothing I can do about it. I don't need any of these cards, or I just need 1 of them. I'd rather do a 2-to-1 ratio like you can do in Wingspan and be like, I'm going to spend an entire turn doing nothing because I need 1 resource. And you guys know how I feel about needing 1 resource and the lengths I have to do to get it.
And I would add a caveat to that, is there are 2 small expansions for this game. There is the crew set and also Gargantuan Creatures. We played with the crew set, at least the crew themselves, and I guess I'm not fully aware at this point if there is kind of an added rule there that allows you to do conversions.
That would take my rating from mid to fine.
Ringing endorsement.
Done.
Actually, I don't love it. It stresses me out.
So you hate it.
It stresses me out when there's the moment when I look into Angela's face and she's like dying inside because we've gone back to the middle of the podcast to talk about like the game.
I was like, here's the ending. And then we're like, all the content we should have had.
Yes, and I
here.
see that in your face. And I'm like, oh gosh, she's she's gonna break up with us.
Thank you for listening to Board Game Homies. Drop us a line on our Blue Sky, Instagram, or Board Game Geek account. Bye-bye. Yeah.
Hey, it's
That's the new outro. That's the new outro.
Okay, but hold on, you guys. Reed was so sweet in her answer. So sweet.
I don't even remember what it was. What was it?
But do you think that traditionally, when somebody says something kind and supportive, we all say, yeah? Or do we ridicule and mock them
For having feelings, Becky.
I know.
This is 2026 in the United States of America.
Yeah, we're all a freaking dumpster fire. So.
Exactly.
It's the joy.
That's why we.
Angela's living in 2024 in bliss. Okay?
Don't come
It's
to
really
me.
great. Look, I didn't realize we had invaded a country. I was like,
Oh.
this is cool.
Angela.
It's fine.